Welcome to Crypto Flywheel, a podcast where we spin up strategies to turn your digital efforts into unstoppable momentum. Now, let's get that flywheel turning. Let me give you a little history. Back in 1944, after World War II, all the major countries got together in a place called Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, and basically agreed on the rules of global money. The deal was simple. Every currency in the world would be tied to the US dollar, and the US dollar would be tied to gold. America was sitting most of the world's gold at that time, so everyone said, fine, we trust you. That system eventually broke down in 1971, but the dollar stayed king because of the oil deal. You want oil, you pay in dollars. End of story. That era, it's cracking now, live in front of us. So here's where we are today. Picture two guys at a negotiating table. America says, we're not touching your yuan. We don't trust China's currency. Iran says, we're not touching your dollars. You sanction us, freeze our accounts, and use a currency as a weapon against us. They're both right from their own perspective, and they're completely stuck. So what does every civilization in human history default to when nobody trusts each other's paper money? It's gold. Gold has no country. Gold has no president. Gold can't be sanctioned. Gold can't be printed out of thin air. Everyone, America, China, Iran, India, Russia, everyone agrees gold has value. It always has for 5,000 years. But here's an old problem with gold. You can't email gold. You can't wire gold across the ocean in seconds. Physically moving gold between countries is slow, it's expensive, and very risky. So historically, gold worked great when you were trading in the same town. But for modern global oil trade happening at massive scale across dozens of countries, it was impractical. Until now. This is where digital assets change everything. Here's a key insight your Petro crypto idea is built on. What if you could have a digital token that is backed by real physical gold, where every token represents an actual bar of gold sitting in a vault somewhere? You get all the trust and neutrality of gold, but with the speed and convenience of crypto. These already exist, like PAXG, it's also called Pax Gold, or XAUT, which is Tether Gold, are tokens where each coin literally represents 1 troy ounce of physical gold in a vault. Now combine it with something like the XRP ledger, which can move and swap any digital asset in 3 to 5 seconds. Suddenly you have a system. Let's say an Indian oil company wants to buy oil that's passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran won't take dollars. America won't allow yuan. Everyone's stuck. But here's a new play. India converts rupees into gold-backed digital token, and that token gets sent across the XRP ledger in seconds, and then Iran receives it and can either hold it as gold value or convert it into yuan, rubles, or whatever they want on their end. Nobody used the dollar. Nobody used the yuan. Gold was a neutral middle ground, and crypto was a highway it traveled on. Americas can't sanction gold. Iran can't be cut off from it. China can't manipulate it. It's nobody's currency. It's just everybody's currency. Why is this called the new Bretton Woods moment? Remember how in 1944, everyone got together and agreed on the new financial rules because the old system had broken down? That's what's happening again, except this time, there's no hotel conference room. The new agreement is being written by economic pressure in real time through wars, sanctions, block shipping lanes, and countries desperately looking for alternatives. So the old rules were dollar is king, oil is priced in dollars, America controls the financial rails, right? So the emerging new rules look something like this. Gold is neutral reserve that everyone trusts. Digital assets are the rails that move value instantly across borders. No single country owns or controls the system. Here's what makes this moment genuinely historic. For the first time in human history, you can have gold speed trust with internet speed transactions. Those two things have never existed together before. Gold was always slow. Fast money was always someone's controlled currency. So crypto, specifically something like XRP Ledger, with its ability to bridge currencies and settle in seconds, is a missing piece that makes gold actually usable in modern high-speed global trade. Iran blocking the Strait of Hormuz and demanding Yuan isn't just a military story or an oil story. It's a match that lit the fuse on the financial system that was already ready to change. So the bottom line in plain English, guys, the world is tired of the one country, America, controlling the financial system through the dollar. But nobody trusts any other single country's currencies either. Gold is the solution everyone can agree on because it belongs to nobody. Crypto is a technology that finally makes gold fast enough to actually use. And the Strait of Hormuz crisis just gave the world a very urgent reason to figure this out right now. Not in 10 years, right now. Welcome to the Petro crypto. The new Bretton Woods isn't being signed in a hotel. It's being written in real time, one block tanker at a time.
So that was a great narrative there, Digital X. Now I have to add something. XRP as a neutral bridge, right? That's what you were saying. It is essentially what it is. You're thinking about like everything that's happening right now if you think about it from a common sense standpoint, there wasn't a reason for this to happen geopolitically. I'm talking about Venezuela. I'm talking about Iran, going against Iran. Where does American people benefit from any of this stuff? Well, there is really no benefit. In fact, there's more hardship than there is before there's any benefit, right? But if you're an investor in the XRP ledger or the XRP asset, right? That neutral bridge, all of this stuff was concocted because of a new financial system. Bottom line, that's where we're moving into. Now, that has to happen somehow quickly. And the sentiment that you see that Digital X just explained is what everybody is thinking. Now, you may think that America's not benefiting from that, but hello, XRPL is sustaining or facilitating the entire operation. Now, if last I looked, the company Ripple is in the United States. San Francisco, exactly. So now you think about it like this. XRP is a neutral bridge. In this narrative, XRP does not need gold reserves to be valuable. Right? The liquidity tool here, it's a liquidity tool. XRP acts as a bridge to facilitate the movement of these gold-backed stablecoins across the ledger. Essentially, it's got a multipolar settlement facilitation or feature. So geopolitically, this setup allows nations to settle trades using tokenized gold via the XRP ledger, bypassing traditional Western financial systems that the entire world doesn't really like anyway to begin with because they don't want to be succumbed to the US dollar. All good. Digital. Now think about this. What is Bitcoin considered as? It's considered as digital gold. Well, I beg to differ. Have my own opinion. My opinion is that the utility driven from the XRP ledger, I think that, it actually suggests that XRP is the digital gold as opposed to the Bitcoin. Don't you agree, Digital X?
Yes, I don't believe in store of value when store of value is controlled by 4 or 5 large groups. You really don't have store of value. It has to be something different. It has to have some sort of utilization purpose behind it in order to have some sort of store of value.
100%.
I don't see Bitcoin as a store of value. It's a narrative they ran with because it first was created and the story was peer-to-peer transactions.
Digital cash.
Yep. Digital cash, right? Then it turned into digital gold. Then it turned into store of value. Now they want to participate with the new financial system. Prior to that, it was supposed to be, it was for the people. Government does not control it. It's all that crap. So there's a narrative being pushed out every few 3, 4, 5 years in order to keep that momentum for BTC going. XRP never shifted from when they created the vision for their token or coin to now. All they were doing was building and building. They didn't care what the price of it is. Still, they don't care where the price of it is. The price will be shown to everyone once the system has been switched on.
I agree. And just think about it like this, guys. By early 2026, everybody's heard of the major institution Deutsche Bank, right? Well, it just so happens that Deutsche Bank in 2026 began integrating Ripple's infrastructure for cross-border transfers. Potentially, that paves the way for the larger scale tokenized assets to settle. So think about it in that sense. And then nations are slowly but surely diversifying away from the United States dollar. Well, tokenized gold and all of this stuff that real world asset tokenization, all of that is happening where? It's happening on the XRP ledger, which offers a way to maintain hard assets backing in a digital first economy. I understand everybody I personally, guys, want cash, but it's not up to me. They always come up with it's always hyper marketing, right? Hyper marketing is the store of value, the digital gold, cash is king, all of that stuff. But if you are in control of the money that you have earned, cash would be ideal. But since technology has evolved and it happens in milliseconds now, you need to be on the digital side. So there has to be a happy medium, if you will. So that is why we both of us at Crypto Flywheel, myself and Digital X, we both comprehend what is going on a bigger picture, on a 35,000-foot view. Understand that you need to have a little bit of diversification on hard assets, digital assets, as well as cash. Hard assets, I mean gold and silver. So all of this stuff is an understanding from a 35,000-foot view. Do not succumb or listen completely to the narrative, the geopolitical narratives, and what mainstream media spews and CNBCs of the world, right? That's not where things are happening. Everything is happening. This is all a shaping operation, as what recently I've heard Michael Yuan talking about. Shaping operations, knowing what is actually behind the smoke screen that is being spewed by every single major media outlet in the world, right? So that's all I have to say, Digital X.
Okay, so, I'm going to keep it very short and sweet, then we're going to get out of here. Listen, we live in a debt-based society. The only way to advance in life for your family is to get completely out of debt, pay off your debts, and then you're able to freely invest into projects and assets, and that will benefit you greatly. So having said that, Professor X, go ahead and flywheel out of here.
I happen to agree. If you have a difference in your opinions on what we just shared, please comment and ask us questions so that we can engage. We'd love to talk about it more on subsequent episodes. With that, this episode of the Crypto Flywheel is signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.